Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the most influential texts, maybe the most influential text in Western civilization.
This is one of the most powerful origin stories in the entire world. We're going to trace the evolving and sometimes complicated relationship between God and humanity through these incredible opening chapters. So, where does an epic story like this even begin?
All right, our story kicks off, you guessed it, at the very beginning. We're talking about the creation of the heavens and the earth out of, well, a formless void. But this isn't just a poof, there it is kind of thing. No, it's a story of order being carved out of chaos, a really deliberate, methodical blueprint for the world.
You know, the whole narrative unfolds in this really structured, almost poetic way over 6 days. It's step by step. Day 1, you get light and dark. Then the sky, the seas. Day by day, the world is just filled up. You've got the sea creatures, the birds, and then the grand finale, humankind, made in God's image and given this huge responsibility over the earth.
And the first act of this cosmic story, it wraps up with this powerful statement. Everything God made, it was very good. Think about that. A world of perfect order, total goodness, a finished masterpiece. And to cap it all off, this seventh day is set aside as a day of rest, a holy day, totally separate from all that work of creation.
Okay, so we have this perfect world, but you just know it's about to be tested, right? God places the first man, Adam, in this absolute paradise, the Garden of Eden. It's a place of total abundance. He can talk directly with his creator, and there's just one single, simple rule. And this one rule, this one don't, it becomes the absolute pivot point for the entire story. This is what introduces free will, and of course, the consequences of that free will into this perfect world. And just like that, the stage is set for the very first major conflict.
And the shift is, well, it's absolutely dramatic. A snake shows up, starts questioning God's command, and Eve, then Adam, they break that one rule. And bam! Instantly, their entire world flips upside down. Innocence is gone, replaced by shame. That direct line to God, it's now filled with fear. And the result? They're banished from the garden.
This moment, which we now call the fall, is huge. It's what introduces struggle, pain, and even death into the human story for the very first time. It's basically the moment that initial perfect relationship, that covenant between humanity and God is just ruptured. So in the generations after the fall, things go downhill, and fast. Humanity's state just deteriorates. The story paints this picture of a world just spiraling into violence and wickedness. It gets so bad, it's like a total corruption of that original perfect blueprint, and it actually grieves its creator.
And this line right here, it really captures just how deep the problem goes. The whole world has gone off the rails. There's just one exception, this righteous guy named Noah. Things have gotten so far from the original plan that something drastic, something absolutely devastating, has to be done.
So what happens? God tells Noah to build a massive ark. This sets in motion a world-altering flood, basically a plan to cleanse the entire earth. And the scale of this reset is just staggering. We're talking 40 days of nonstop rain, 150 days where the water covers everything, and the only survivors are the ones on that single ark.
But then, after all that destruction, after the waters finally go down, the story takes a turn. It shifts from destruction to promise. God sets up a new covenant, and this time it's not just with Noah, it's with all living things. And the rainbow, that becomes the physical, beautiful sign of this divine promise. Never again will the earth be destroyed by a flood.
You'd think a global reset would fix everything, right? Well, not quite. Humanity is still flawed. And we see this perfectly symbolized in the story of the Tower of Babel. You have all of humanity, united, ambitious, trying to build a tower all the way to the heavens, but instead of greatness, it leads to chaos. Their languages get all mixed up, and they're scattered across the face of the earth.
So God switches tactics. A new approach is needed. Instead of these big, sweeping interactions with humanity as a whole, the camera, so to speak, zooms way in. The focus narrows to just one man, Abram and his family. They're going to be the starting point for a brand new, much more specific, and deeply personal plan.
And this is the call he gets. Abram, who later becomes Abraham, is told to leave everything he knows, his home, his country, his entire family, and just go.
journey to some new, unknown land based on nothing but the strength of this divine promise. Talk about a leap of faith.
So this new covenant, it's built on 4 huge promises made to Abraham. And this isn't just about one guy's future, okay? This is a promise that becomes a cornerstone for 3 major world religions. It's a promise of a great nation, a specific land, descendants as numerous as the stars, and a purpose that will eventually bless the entire world.
Now, this whole thing doesn't just happen overnight. Not at all. It unfolds over decades. Decades filled with doubt, with waiting, with a few, let's say, human attempts to make it happen. But the real key moment, the miracle, comes with the birth of his son Isaac. His wife Sarah was way past childbearing age, and Abraham himself was 100 years old.
And just when you think they've made it, that hard-won relationship, that miraculous promise gets tested in the most extreme, heart-stopping way you can imagine. Abraham is commanded to sacrifice his own son, Isaac, the very child that the whole promise depended on. And then, at the very last second, an angel steps in.
And that act, that unwavering obedience from Abraham, it solidifies the covenant for all time. The promise is reaffirmed, but now it's cemented by more than just words. It's cemented by this incredible demonstration of human faith. You can really see how the relationship has evolved, right? From a simple rule in a garden to this deep, tested, lasting bond with one man and his entire family line.
So, there you have it. We've seen this epic progression, from universal creation to a tragic fall, a global reset, and then finally this incredibly focused personal covenant. It all boils down to one man and one promise. And that leaves us with the real question: how would this covenant, born in the ancient desert, actually go on to change the world?